are you thinking of Memphis so far?
I tell you, the excitement has been great. My wife's best friend lives here, and she's in sales here, and she's been talking about how the whole city's sort of excited, and that's very gratifying and humbling to us. We're fired up to get out here. We think it's going to be a tremendous scene. This is one of the iconic spots in the entire country, and to have our show associated with it and have a marquee game on Saturday night is going to be fun.
Speaking of the game, what do you think what this Tiger program has been able to do this year, and then also what they've been able to do to build up to this point?
I think that's really key, what they've been able to do to build up to this point. Think back to when Tommy West left and sort of challenged the administration about what they were going to do about football. And then Justin Fuente set a good foundation, and then Mike Norvell has done just a tremendous job elevating it. Memphis has been very close to winning conference championships, and I think they've got a great opportunity to do that this year. They were fortunate to escape the other night against Tulsa, but by the same token, so was SMU. They played Tulsa. So I think it's a really evenly matched game. SMU's been a great story, but I think Memphis is as formidable as anybody in this conference, which, by the way, is a very, very good league.
When you look at Kenneth Gainwell specifically, I mean, one of the best talents, obviously, in the AAC and even the country. Yeah,
a top 10 rusher. He is in the top 2 in the country, I think, in 50, 60, and 70-yard runs, so he's very explosive. And, he sort of stepped in when, in the preseason, he wasn't necessarily the guy that Memphis thought would carry the running attack, and he's been able to take advantage of his opportunity and be a big play guy for them, to give them a nice balance to their offense with the way Brady White has thrown it. And Mike's always been a really, really good offensive coach, and they've had weapons. And since he's been here and been running the offense here, they've always seemed to be able to find guys who can make big plays in the running game. And I think that's a real advantage for them on Saturday night.
Rece, what kind of goes into the decision to pick the guest picker and getting Jerry the King Lawler? What's that going to do?
There are a lot of things that go into it. Sometimes that can be an exercise in frustration because we don't always just get to pick and choose whoever we might want. I mean, these people that come and do it, we're extraordinarily grateful because they're busy people, Jerry included. I mean, he's got a lot going on. He's a legend and an icon, not only here in Memphis but across the South. But I'm going to put out a little response video on social media later on to his announcement, which we're delighted to have him. But I would say this to Jerry. I'm not going to call him what he calls himself. I'm going to call him Jerry Lawler. He is a wrestler that I enjoyed watching growing up. He is a great showman for sure. But he's in Memphis. And if he dares call himself royalty in this city, home of the king of rock and roll, he better bring it Saturday morning. I mean, he had better, no half-stepping. If I catch Jerry Lawler half-stepping, I will come off the top rope. There will be an atomic elbow smash, and he might be on the business end of a pile driver, so he better watch out.
Wow.
Come on down, Jerry. Let's go, baby.
Sorry.
Won a lot of close games. Shane Buechele's been really good for them. So is Xavier Jones. Wait and see if Robertson's going to be able to play. It doesn't appear so based on reading between the lines of some of his teammates. But a tremendous offense. Sonny's done a really good job with him, and I think the more they've won, the more confident they've become that they're going to find ways to win. A lot of close games that they've escaped so far, but having the record they have for the first time since the pre-death penalty era, when they were a force to be reckoned with, not only in the old SWC but nationally, is a great story of resurgence. And I think it's something that's been compelling, and it's something that we got on pretty early. Jim Wojciechowski did an unbelievable story a couple of weeks ago about the resurgence of SMU football. So to have this stage, primetime on ABC, and to be the visiting team for the game that we chose to come and be a part of this week, I think is something that's really a huge step for SMU football and its continued growth.
What about the growing national prominence in Memphis football?
Well, I mean, I think it kind of goes hand in hand with, you have to win, right? And you have to do things like sell out the stadium and take the tarps out of the Liberty Bowl and have people excited. And, at the end of the day, you can market things all you want to, but when you play an exciting brand of football, which Memphis has the last several years, and then when you couple that with winning and competing for championships, which they have been able to do also, that's going to put you in the forefront nationally. I think the American is also doing a really good job at developing depth in his conference. It's not just UCF and maybe a challenger or two. Now you've got a lot of really, you got really solid teams in this conference. And I think you continue to build that national brand that way. You got to continue to invest. You have to fight off suitors for your coaches and try to keep them at your schools in the conference. And look, let's not kid ourselves. Norvell is going to be, and already has been, and will continue to be a popular guy in coaching searches. You got to invest. You got to make it worth his while to stay here. And so all of those types of things go hand in hand. I think with developing a national brand and has some staying power.
Rece, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask this question. Obviously, Penny Hardaway has been able to do a lot with the basketball program here. Have your thoughts or opinions kind of changed on what he's been able to do with the team so far?
Changed in what way?
Do you feel like the program's maybe in a better position
than it was prior to his arrival? Oh, of course. I mean, look at the way they're recruiting right now. We had our basketball seminar earlier this week, and someone brought up that one of the storylines that they were interested in following this year, which I think is highly premature given college basketball, no matter how good they are, is can Memphis go undefeated? I mean, I'm sure Penny probably doesn't want to talk about going undefeated right now, but they have a tremendously talented team that I think everybody who's associated with college basketball is excited to watch. And I think, speaking to the question earlier about the prominence of Memphis football, the best programs go hand in hand and use each other for the benefit. I mean, use each other in a good way for prominence and name recognition and so forth. Memphis is going to have that in basketball just by virtue of their tradition and history, and Memphis football can use that. By the same token, the fact that we're here on Saturday and Penny's going to be on the show Saturday morning, all of those things work hand in hand to the benefit of both. So yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that he has been able to elevate their recruiting, and in turn I would expect that over the course of the season that's going to lift them in prominence in terms of seeding in the tournament and opportunity to make a deep run into the tournament.
What spots have you hit up, food-wise?
Look, I had to go to Rendezvous. I mean, I know it's an old staple. I know it's touristy, but I grew up a couple hours from here, so it's like, come to town Thursday night. It was easy. It was right across from the hotel, and it was delicious as always. I found out, though I didn't know this, that one of the co-owners, John Burgess, is an SMU grad. Did you guys know that? Is he? But he says he's a Memphis fan, lifelong Memphian, and will be rooting for the Tigers Saturday night. But I thought, given us being here in this particular game, that was an interesting little nugget. The co-owner of Rendezvous is an SMU grad. Kind of crazy. It's like finding out that Penny's hosting Rick Barnes in his golf outing or something. Something like that.